Auzu billahi mineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Justice Kirmani Saab, I am first happy that four of us on the panel are students of this university and contemporaries, almost reading at the same time. Shafi Shok has been my class fellow. जनाब रहमा राही साहब, शफी शोक साहब और रियाज रफ़ाई साहब और मेरे दोस्त रफ़ीक राज साहब, I'll be taking a departure because I had an idea that the audience here is mostly the students. So I have made my presentation in English language and I feel a bit comfortable with that language. You'll forgive me for that. That doesn't mean that I am against Kashmiri. In fact, we had a Kashmir cultural forum in the university. Shafi Shok and myself and Rahi Saab and Margoob Saab, you were our teachers at that time, and we used to have in the Gandhi Bhavan regular functions in Kashmiri language only. But you'll forgive me for taking a departure, and this is not in any way any disrespect towards my mother tongue, which I can speak very fluently, but I am not that articulate as you have people on the panel. I am thankful to Janab Zareef Saab and Rufai Saab for giving me an opportunity to make a presentation on Zareef Saab's valuable contribution, Taran Garee. I am not an authority on Kashmiri literature. A galaxy of them is present in this hall. In presence of these veterans of Kashmiri language and literature, I feel Lilliputian. Having been asked to review poetic collection by one of our famed poets, Zareef Ahmed Zareef, I am caught up in a threatening situation. Why I am caught up in a threatening situation? Because I see on the dice Azra Pounds and Eliots of Kashmiri literature, and equally in the front rows sitting here. I strongly feel perhaps I am not the right person to comment on his latest collection, Taran Garee. But for my personal admiration for his steadfastness, uprightness, and bleeding heart for his fellow brethren, I took the risk and accepted the offer of making a very humble presentation on the valuable contribution that has added one more shade to our beautiful literary landscape. My presentation would be more an expression of gratitude for his voicing concern over the agonized life of people rather than a critical appreciation or a review in strict sense. It's not easy to tell truth, the bitter truth, in a situation that has been very subtly summed up by Rahi Saab in one of his verses. Yeti Zevit Kalmas Pahradaro Dubrai Dilish Badnam Sapuz. Teachers, thank you. Chalo, thank you. Tawai Kurum Angri's prophet. It truly needs sheer courage to wear one's heart on one's sleeve in a situation as that has been obtaining in our state, where thoughts and expressions are captives, where minds have been occupied. It's very difficult for any literary person to give vent to his real thoughts and aspirations. Zareef Ahmed Zareef has now been adorning our literary landscape for past 5 decades. He is an accomplished essayist and a poet. He has been versifying in all forms of poetry, ghazals, nazms, quatrains, and satire. Satire, that's what I believe, is his forte. It has made him what I would love to call as people's poet. A poet who has endeared him to the people of the state. What makes him distinctive from some of his other contemporaries is that he writes in a different style, as he rightly says about his writing. I'm quoting Zareef Saab. I have been so far preventing my poetry from ambiguities and unnecessary literary complexities that some men of letters made out fashionable and have become order of the day. The purpose of my writing is to provide relief to my parched beautiful land, and to provide comfort and solace to my tormented brethren, and to wake them up and make them realize that they are not inanimate, lifeless, but full of life and vibrancy. His prose as well as poetry touches our heart. Like an ace archer, he shoots words that straightway pierce heart and stirs the minds. Taran is his first poetic collection. In 2008, his essay compilation, Khabar Togma Vanun, was very well received in literary circles of our state. It was seen as a major contribution to the scant Kashmiri prose. True, he has been writing in all literary forms, but satire is definitely his forte, whether it is his prose or poetry. Since antiquity, satire has been recognized as an important art form. It has been popular with several Greek playwrights. It has, I'm quoting, it has endured throughout as Western history as a form of cultural critique. I would love to call satire as literature with a purpose, and satirists serve as a harbinger of errors in the society. The role of satirist, in the words of Jonathan Swift, is to mend the world as far as they are able, correct vices and reinstate virtues in the society. Literature is brimful with works of great satirists that forced their societies to introspect and to look into fads, fancies, follies, and foibles. Take Jonathan Swift's Model Proposal or Mark Twain's Huckleberry Finn. These two works unrepentantly illuminate the ills of their respective societies. I cannot imagine a news report more powerful than those finely crafted words of satire. It is the honesty and humanism of satire that makes it so valuable, in that it forces the viewer, to reflect upon his own shortcomings. Patriotical and satirical poetry has made role in nation's freedom struggles. Notwithstanding satire usually being witty, it has generated powerful literary movements against brutal rulers and colonizers. Through cleverly crafted criticism, satirists have infused spirit of freedom in people and geared them up by drawing caricatures of the tormentors and the usurpers. In our situation, I see a great role played by troubadours. The institution of troubadour, might have been there for centuries, but during late 50s, that is my childhood, it had emerged as a well-established institution of political satire. In a situation when press was muzzled, people were gagged, intimidation and terror had become the order of the day, almost a second nature of the rulers and the people who were at the helm of affairs. And fascism was manifest in its ugliest form. At that time, these troubadours, through his satire, strengthened people's belief in their political goals and in their political beliefs. It's not only the ministerials and the troubadours that through the impromptu satirical poetry have been castigating the alien rulers, their cohorts and collaborators, but even great poets through their satire have criticized their rulers. Literary history of our land is full of poets that have lived up to self-esteem. Talking about Garee and others before Rahi Saab will be making myself very humble. J.L. Tikku in his Persian poetry writes that Kashmiri poets deplored any compromise even for fulfilling physical needs. He illustrates his point by quoting Nadim Kashmiri and Ghani Kashmiri. In the literary galaxy of Kashmir, poets like Hamidullah Shahbadi, 1783 to 1848, who lived during Afghan and Sikh rule, stands out as a great satirist, who through his deeply satirical poetry conveyed his rancor at the poor state of affairs of Kashmir. In the words of we were fortunate enough to have two important books in this couple of years back. One is by Chaitradekha Zutshi and another is by Mirdu Rai about the Dogra rule and the Sikh rule. They are wonderful works that have been done on Kashmir under the guidance of Professor Asha Jalal, who happens to be niece of Sadat Hussain Mantu and has is half Kashmiri that way. In the literary galaxy of poets, in the words of Chaitradekha Zutshi, far from retreating into oblivion in the 27 years of Sikh rule, Kashmiri voices articulated a sense of belonging for their land, a land that now required a loyalty of the inhabitants to rise from the depths of its suffering and tribulations. Unquote. She recognized Hamidullah as one who, through his epic satirical works, Babuj Nama and the other book, condemned the rulers and the people for allowing the beautiful valley to slide into chaos and ugliness, an important voice of Kashmir. Like Hamidullah Mirza Muhammad Mahdi, who used pen name Mujrim, described in his Dewan the administrative chaos for which he holds sycophants of Sikh government mainly responsible. In exposing them, he indulges in public satire, lampoons them and castigates the people like Maharaja Sher Singh and his courtiers. He even describes them as scourge of God, although, I quote, although his experience is not as bald as we come across in Babuj Nama, writes R.K. Parimo, it is quite piercing and stiff. Many other poets have made society to introspect, dwarfed the tyrants in the eyes of people through their satirical works. I even see Ghulam Ahmad Mahjoor's Azadi as a masterpiece of satire. People may disagree, but I look at it as a satire. I will not hesitate in comparing the work of Zareef Saab to the works of these great masters of yesteryears. Zareef Saab's satire is piercing and stiff. Like a cork borer, through his satire, he wriggles out laughter from everyone, irrespective of their understanding of poetry and its nuances, and makes the wise and the stupid to introspect together. He has a distinctive style that is nothing but Zareef style. In this collection of poems, he largely avoids what in general terms would be called literary phraseology or highbrow literary forms. Instead, he uses mundane common phrases and gives them a magical spin that bruises consciousness of people. Here is a verse I am quoting. Agar bhi galat parat maafi dijo. See spin in his verse. In this verse, let me put it like this. In this verse, he compares, in fact, this verse I have seen as he sums up our whole situation in just one verse. When he says that this could have, a common man can understand his language very well. He says that Ashuhovuk Shuch Dobuk Shu Naul. So, I make sure document, but I can't read it. Nobody else can say it like this. He sums up the whole thing, that how we were deceived, how we were beguiled, and we were shown one thing and given another thing. He sums up it so wonderfully, I can't express myself. His artistry in chiseling of words, converting them into sharpeners, is unique to him. He very subtly exposes the duplicity of the leaderships in verses like, which he quotes, I have translated that, the soaring into skies is wasteful. I would request him, because I can't do it the way he does it. The soaring into skies is wasteful. What will they gain by going up in the skies? Our Bab advised us to be pedestrian. Himself loves flying in a helicopter. This is trickery. Talaskar,
Asman kya laban? Potri papunai do baban. Dostan ipet helicopteri.
So nobody can say it like this. I am yet to see. I am a student of Kashmiri literature, though I don't write in Kashmiri, but I have been studying. I have not seen things said in such subtle language, in such subtle manner, where you sum up the whole phenomena in just one stanza. That is what Zareef Ahmed has done in this. He has summed up my pain, my agony, my tormentation for all these. That from the day I was born, I am a tormented person, and he has summed me up wonderfully in these verses. He holds mirror to the society and enables it to seek its ugly face, with pox marks dotted with oozing warts and marks. The society to realize that no one from outside has made him to look like that, but it is his own people, the people we worship, the people we admire. It is they who have made our life, our face look like with full of pox marks and warts. Our beautiful face, which otherwise were very pretty. Every stanza in this cylinder collection of 115 pages moves like a surgeon's knife to remove ugly warts on our beautiful skin. With these words, I thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to share my views. Agar मैं आज से गुस्ताखी गमुस ताज़ी गम हुई. Assalamu alaikum.
शुक्रिया Z.g.muhmmad sir.